want to see some waves. I just want to see some waves. I think we got them. We got them from you.
You got them. You got it from me.
Waves are good. Vibes are good. Waves are good. I already know what you watched this weekend. Totally disappointed.
That's fine.
Totally disappointed.
You're one of the many who will be disappointed in me.
I understand. Those are the games you didn't need to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the games that you should have watched, you didn't watch.
Like what?
Well, first of all, you're a fake Italian. I'm definitely revoking your pass. After doing this with you for so long, I've learned that you are not a real one. So we'll leave that there.
All right, that's
You're
fine.
a manja. That's what I call you. You're a manja. You don't watch your own league. You watch one game where if the team, you didn't have to watch the second game because the first game, if that team won, then it didn't even matter. I don't watch the second game. I don't care.
No? Oh,
I had why the hell did that matter?
I had them simultaneously going.
Weren't you excited?
Yeah,
Wasn't the tension really hidden? You know, because you thought Liverpool were somehow going to miraculously lose to Wolves.
No, I thought the opposite.
No, you thought, well, no, you didn't, because I told you that last week that if you had any thought of Brighton winning, you're like, no, can't see it, no.
Yeah. I didn't think they were going to win. I thought maybe they'd squeak out a draw.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, when did that change? Did that change before kickoff?
Yeah.
Overnight?
Yeah.
Okay. Just want to make sure.
Yeah.
Find that interesting.
Yeah.
But there were other stuff that actually did matter. But
I'll let you cover that.
Oh yeah.
Your boys were moving on up.
Yeah, as they should. I don't know why you're surprised either. I think that's going to be the name of every podcast from now. Why are you surprised? That's going to be the name of this podcast. Why are you surprised? Or that's going to be a segment.
Okay.
Why are you surprised?
All right.
Nothing surprises me anymore. Maybe that's why. Maybe that's a problem. Maybe I need to take myself away from the game over the summer and just like miraculously appear, keep myself away from all the headlines, and then, wow, lo and behold, everything will surprise me. And then the element of the game that I guess the love that I've lost will eventually just come back together and everything will.
You just need to watch a whole bunch of CPL.
That was on actually this weekend, by the way, and I forgot to record it.
Oh, wow.
So I guess I missed out. Sucks to suck.
If you would have paid for the stream, you might have seen it.
Oh no, I'm fine. Whatever. We at some point we're gonna have to get into it because
I know.
We can't talk about this forever.
No,
the
I know.
Season's done soon.
Season is done.
Well, no, there are other leagues. I told you, that's why you're a Prem boy.
Yeah.
All you think about is the Prem. No, there are other leagues that's still going on.
Yeah, you're right. And some those other leagues do matter.
No, clearly not to you.
No.
Yeah.
This weekend was a busy weekend for me, all right? Cut me some slack.
Clearly not to you. No, I won't.
All right.
I won't. It's not the Cutting Slack podcast. Potter's Pod.
We're here.
The Cutting Slack Podders potted.
Yeah, they did.
Cut their slack today.
Did they?
I don't know.
Oh.
Whenever they didn't have to cut their slack, they didn't cut their slack.
Oh, okay.
Whatever. Good for them. Good for them. Good for them. It's Monday. It's pretty dark. It's quiet. Everyone's kind of recovering from what happened last night. Good for them.
Hey, do you have?
Good for them.
Did you watch?
Yeah, I did watch. Whatever. No, I'm just going to intro the podcast before we even get into that, okay? Because I have a lot to say about that. I don't really have a lot to say about it. Okay. People are tripping. Anyhow, I'm happy I wasn't down here for that.
Yeah, I was.
You were?
Yeah.
Were people going nuts?
Yeah.
Did you hear them outside?
Yeah.
Really?
Horns were honking.
Really?
Yeah.
That's serious?
Yeah.
Conference semifinal?
Yeah.
Oh man. See, this is.
I'll wait. I'll wait to say my stuff until when you intro the podcast.
Yeah, we're gonna go there. Mike's on. We're gonna rush this podcast today.
Oh yeah, sorry.
You got places to be.
Yeah, sorry.
You don't seem like you got places to be.
Sorry, yeah, no, I do. I do.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay, I just want to make sure. I got nowhere to be, so.
Yeah, I do.
I don't live your life, Danny C.
God damn.
Danielle AC.
God damn.
Young Dan. Dan in the cut.
This is Fab's fault, by the way.
Whatever. Not really.
It's my fault.
Yeah. It's both.
Poor planning on my part.
No, and poor planning on his. Have your wedding after the season's done.
Yeah, exactly.
Gotta think about this ahead of time. Oh, I'm playing. Shout out to Fabs. Anyhow, you ready?
I'm
Mic's
ready.
on, cameras on, lights on, soundboard, whatever. It's ain't on, it ain't on. We're already like 76 episodes through this, and people know what we're about, so it don't really matter. So with that being said, if you're ready, I'm ready. It's InnerViews Podcast, episode 76, live and direct from Toronto, Ontario. It's your guy Tyrrell. I'm in a mood. Dan's in a mood. We're about to get it popping. The city of Toronto is quiet. Everyone is kind of resting. After what happened last night, they kind of just need to relax. You know, everyone's in good spirits. I'm pretty sure all the offices were talking about that guy, Kawhi. doing whatever he did, and they were excited, and now everyone knows his name, and now everyone thinks he's going to stay, and the city is full of good vibes just because TFC couldn't get it done. The CPL's going on, the Premier League's done, so everyone's sad. Soccer, as it's known and covered in this country, is coming to a halt, so that was disappointing, but Kawhi saved the day. All the bad stuff. I don't know, it was Mother's Day, but besides everything that didn't go well this weekend, like TFC, and the news that was probably the last Canadian soccer coverage that we'll get from England for the foreseeable future.
At least 4 years.
Kawhi saved the day. It's Kawhi's day. And you know what? He didn't look any happier than any of you.
Well, are you crazy? Did you see him celebrate?
Yeah, but that was
that was the most energy and celebration I've seen out of that man in decades.
In decades? That's a lie. Because you won a championship.
Well, wasn't that happening?
And he was smart. Yeah, he was.
Oh, was smiling?
Yeah, he was.
Oh, okay.
See? My thing about this whole, but this is not a basketball podcast. My thing about Kawhi is that I feel like a lot of people don't know about him. So now that they're seeing all of this, it's kind of like, oh wow, this guy could actually play. Oh wow. But yeah, I guess I should ask you how your weekend was before we get into that. How are you? I care. Sorry, folks, if you want to skip to the Soccer Satch Footy content, hit like 20 minutes or 25, and we'll be somewhere in something that mattered. Probably Manchester City. What mattered? How are you?
I am good.
Weekend was good?
Yeah, weekend was good.
Young Dan in the cut. Danny C.
Yeah,
Daniele C.
I stepped out this weekend.
Dan Summer, the summer of Dan.
Yeah, I did. I stepped out on these Toronto streets Friday night.
Ooh, 416 streets.
Yeah.
Getting it popping.
It was okay. It was a good time. And then I did watch that game.
Hold on. This not your weekly street report. How was it? Were the vibes good?
Yeah, the vibes were good. You know what? I think because of the big game on Sunday, I think a little people were a little bit lower key than normal.
Ah.
Yeah.
You think that was it?
Well, I want to attribute to it. I'm just gonna take a shot.
Oh, okay, fine. But did everyone know the vibes?
Yeah,
they were good.
Yeah, they were okay.
People were out in their best. Was it? What do you rate the night for the people in general? Just everyone going out. Was it like a 7? Was it an 8?
I would give it a solid 7.
Is it because of the weather?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the streets will turn once the weather starts to warm up. Maybe that's this weekend. I don't know.
Did you frequent the new spot or was it a local spot?
It was on King Street West. That's all I'm gonna say.
God, I'm gonna call you Danny from King.
Yeah,
King Street legend.
Yeah,
you're already here to set your.
I'm not gonna share locations
to
with anybody.
Set your print on King.
That's right.
Ooh,
yeah.
Oh man, I gotta warn everyone.
I'm gonna fight Oso for his spot.
Okay, anyhow,
just joking.
You two both, yeah, he'll smoke you.
Yeah,
Anyhow,
yeah.
I had to defend you. Oh God.
Oh, you're not defending nobody. I know you're.
I'll defend you. I'll also do shit to you, but I'm there. But if I'm not there, then shit, you gotta deal with that yourself.
That's fine.
Anyhow, your weekend.
So that was Friday, Saturday. Chilled low key. I was back in my former neck of the woods, and Sunday was Mother's Day. Shout out to my lovely mother. We had all.
Oh, you corny.
Yeah, we had. Yeah, come on. She sometimes listens to the podcast, so I'll give her a shout out. And then Sunday came back here, watched the Raptors. It was an exciting game. I got into it.
Hopefully.
So shout out to Kawhi, because
why?
Give him the laugh.
for shooting 39 times.
Yeah,
because no one else watches shoot. Continue. I like where you're going with this. Before I have to kill it, as always.
Yeah, that's fine. Let me just talk my basketball talk. I thought he put the team on his back as he usually does.
Or did they throw their backs onto him?
You know what?
Someone's got to ask these questions.
Yeah, I know. They looked. Like I said, I'm not a basketball guy.
Today you are.
Okay, that's fine. So I think they could have shot a lot more. I think they were all hesitant. They all just wanted Kawhi to shoot. And you know what? 18 years ago, Vince missed that jumper in the corner. I still remember watching that game. And here's Kawhi. He hits that jumper from the corner. And I heard it in many different languages.
So did I.
And you know what? That's a shooter's role.
That, AKA luck.
It's not luck.
It was luck.
No, it's not luck.
The ball, it was
No,
luck.
no.
He takes that shot.
No.
He takes that shot
No.
he takes that shot another 10
No.
times. He takes that shot another 10 times. He doesn't hit it once.
No.
He doesn't hit it once.
That is.
Don't lie to me.
No.
Don't lie to me.
No. Have you played basketball?
Don't lie to me.
Did you play?
Don't lie to me. I've played basketball.
So have I.
Okay. He takes that shot another 10 times. He does not hit it once. Sorry. It's like that little volley where you just hit it right that one time.
Yeah.
You give yourself that volley another 10 times. You're not hitting it once.
Okay.
He hit that.
But the shot itself.
It was a bad shot.
It was not a bad shot.
It was a bad shot.
You have been listening to Skip, haven't you?
No, it was okay. Number one.
You have been listening to Skip.
Number one, I love how, and this is how I know people don't watch basketball or watch American basketball coverage, because what Skip does is great. He's a great character, and he fulfills his job.
Who's that other?
Shannon Sharp, and he's another character who.
No, but the other guy who. Okay, Skip is an idiot, and the other.
No, Skip is making $3 million a year,
Okay.
getting you guys upset for no reason.
Who's the other guy? Not. I was thinking about the other guy. Stephen A.
Yeah,
He's an idiot too.
why is he an idiot?
Because he's another guy. That was luck.
It was luck.
It's not.
How? Okay.
The shot itself. He practices that shot.
Oh my god.
Okay.
You guys are ridiculous.
I'm
You
not
guys are
ridiculous.
You're absolutely ridiculous. He practices that shot.
Yeah, falling
shot.
out of bounds,
Yeah.
hitting that shot.
Yeah. Kawhi never ever takes that shot.
Yes.
You go through his entire career, tell me one time he takes that shot. He doesn't take that shot. He got forced out there because they tried to trap him, and Ben Simmons is an idiot and should have followed that, because if Ben Simmons follows that play, he never gets that shot off.
You're right.
Ever.
But
Ever.
But the arc, he changes that shot because he's a flat ball shooter.
He had no other. He couldn't shoot it straight.
Exactly. So he changes. It's not a lucky shot.
Just because he changed the shot does not mean that it's lucky.
That's what I'm saying.
Does not mean that it's not lucky.
Okay, see, you just had a Freudian slip because you believe in your heart.
No, you're lying to yourself. That was a lucky shot. And he shot 16 or whatever for 39, and they got lucky that they beat a team that isn't that great.
Listen, what about if they beat Milwaukee?
They're gonna need a lot of real. What I love about this is that because Milwaukee's a small market team, no one's taking them seriously. And it's been the same excuse for every single round. Oh, they don't have enough experience. Oh, they've never been there. But they are well coached. They are a better team than the Raptors. And unlike the previous team that Mike Budenholzer has coached, they have a superstar that is going to be the MVP. And they are going to be fine. And they have home court. And there is not one single advantage that if they're smart, they let Kawhi go for 40 or do whatever he has to do. But they have an advantage in every other department, and they should be fine. And for me, hey, if the Raptors make it, that's better for me, because I know the Warriors will take them in 5 easily. So,
oh wow,
easily, baby food, no bench. You think Kyle Lowry's gonna do something? The intangibles. You think he's gonna work hard and get a few charges, and that's gonna change anything? Sorry, there's a difference between very good teams and elite teams.
So you're saying that your team walks past the Blazers?
Yeah, I don't even know why people are trying to make that such a big deal. Like, but they haven't beaten them like throughout this 4 to 5 year run. They've knocked the Blazers out of the playoffs a few times.
All right.
So I don't take
even without your big superstar.
Yeah, they never needed him to really do it. I'm pretty sure the last time they played them, he missed 2 of the games, and they still won the series in like 5.
All right.
So they're fine. Don't worry about that. Unless they get another serious injury, like Draymond or Clay or Steph goes down, then you have a big problem there. Because then that's 3. Okay, that's 3. That's a big problem.
Who's 3?
Well, KD, Boogie. Who's next?
Boogie.
Well, Boogie puts them on a level where no one's beating them.
Okay.
Period.
Okay.
KD puts them on a level where you're still not beating them, but you can steal a game or 2.
Okay, that's fair.
Because they goof off. And even in this series, I expect them to goof off at least once or twice and make it go 6.
Okay.
I expect them to go 6.
So you're saying your team in 6 and Milwaukee in
6.
Okay, I'm gonna say Toronto in 7.
So they're gonna go to Milwaukee and win a game 7?
Yeah,
they could barely win a game 7.
Doesn't matter
against. Yeah,
I'm gonna say Toronto in 7.
I know,
and I'm gonna say your team in 5.
I know. Toronto in 7 is wild.
I know.
Wild. That's the optimism, right?
Yeah.
That's shooting for the stars.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. I thought you were gonna give me a basketball answer, but you're not allowed to.
No,
because you live down here.
That's right.
Right?
Yep. So how was your weekend?
You're so pussy. Um, it was great. Steph capped it off really nice. Took that series out. Didn't have to go through a stressful game 7 that only losers have to go through.
Uh-huh.
When they don't play great teams. And just kind of chilled out. Nothing really big. Stepped out on Friday. Nothing too crazy. Kept it low. Kept it key. And watched a bunch of games that you didn't watch.
Okay.
On Saturday, and then Sunday, y'all are. I hate social media, man. I swear to God, like I understand shout out to all the mothers out there. You guys are all beautiful and great, but y'all don't have to show me all your mothers, man.
I don't.
Y'all really. I know your sister did.
Oh, yeah.
Y'all killing her.
Yeah, kill her.
Y'all don't really have to do that, man. Like that's great. We understand that you're showing appreciation for your mothers, but you don't have to do it like that. Like just hang out with them. Do what you gotta do. Do whatever you do traditionally for Mother's Day. But boy, I had to take a sign off between that and the Kawhi shot like a jillion times.
Oh, the Kawhi shot was. Oh wow.
It was everywhere.
Yeah.
I was like, oh man, today's a bad day for Instagram. Like, cool, you love your moms. I get it.
Yeah.
That's fine. But like, post after post after post after post after post after story after story after story after story. Let's do this every day.
Hey, listen, I've said that in the past.
Let's have that more often. You know,
love your mother every day.
Well,
Like
we weren't getting that today, so I don't know, man. People, shout out to them. I don't know. I didn't really do much this weekend.
Did you step out in the streets of?
Kept it alone? No, I'm not you.
Okay.
I'm not you. You're the one that's. I live vicariously through your life now.
Oh, that's a lot.
You're the man of the streets. You're the young prince on King.
Did you step out downtown?
No.
Oh, you stepped out in your neck of the woods.
No, I stayed low.
Okay.
Stayed within close proximity of my house.
That's fair.
I love my house.
Yeah.
I love to stay at home.
Well,
I like to
well,
wake.
To my defense, I stayed in close proximity of my house.
I
too.
know, but that's just different.
Okay.
That's different.
That's
That's different. Look where you live. We're not going to disclose that, but yeah. I like to wake up at 3 a.m. in the morning, start my day.
Yeah.
Go to the gym.
Yeah.
And be in bed at a good time.
Okay.
Yeah. Some people don't value that, but we're here. Yeah, I ain't missing much out there, young prince.
No.
You haven't told me anything yet.
No.
You haven't told me the vibes have been great. That have got me eager to kind of step out.
Are we stepping out?
No.
Together once this year?
No.
No. We just do our own separate thing.
Well, I feel like one at some point we will. But
BP comes back.
But I don't want to promise. He's already back. I haven't seen him yet.
Okay.
But I don't want to promise you anything because
Did you disappoint me?
I just don't know how many times I'm going to frequent the streets.
That's fair.
Depends on how my summer goes.
Okay.
But we got to get through the final week of the Premier League season since that's what you care about the most and that's the only thing that you watch. So anything else really happened that mattered besides your... I got into an argument with... Wedding into an argument, but I had to respond to a tweet from a Raptors beat writer today and be like, it doesn't matter.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And he responded back with like his PR answer. I was like, fair enough.
I didn't see this.
Yeah, he's trying to like break down the amount of experience that the Raptors have in conference final games in comparison to Milwaukee's. I was like, look, man, this does not matter. He's like, yeah, I get it. Milwaukee's a really good team, but something about not skipping steps. And I was like, listen, man, I'm gonna let y'all chill. I'm gonna let y'all watch this since I guarantee no one in this city has watched Milwaukee play at least 5 times this season. And then when the series is done, we'll have a discussion. Because basketball, there's no real surprise in basketball. Usually, for the most part, the better team wins.
Yeah.
And for the most part, the team with the better player and that's better coached wins. And Milwaukee kind of hits that in most parts. And they just got back Brogdon, who's a 90, 50, 40 guy. So, I mean, the Raptors don't have a real secondary scorer, then they're going to have a big problem. And they don't. So, yeah, that's where I stand on that. So, sorry to be the one to rain on everyone's parade. But we can come back here and revisit this because
Sure.
it is on air now.
Yeah.
On camera, it's gonna be on video. So
There
if
you
the Raptors miraculously win, I don't really give a damn.
Especially in 7, that makes one of my stupid predictions come through.
No, that's a stupid prediction. You better say 6. You're not winning. You're not winning Game 7 on the road.
Okay, Raptors in 6. How's that?
Yeah. Okay, that sounds a bit more.
Okay, Raptors
Yeah,
in 6.
Don't say 7. It's not happening. You're gonna get smoked.
Raptors in 6. You heard it here on the InnerViews Podcast.
Yeah, but that don't really matter to me because at the end of the day, yeah, 3P. Anyhow, you got anything else to say?
Nope.
We got a lot of stuff to get into. So since you don't have nothing else to say, I've got to give a big shout out to everyone on YouTube, the YouTube subscribers. Shout out to those on Twitter, Instagram, Quora, and Facebook. And shout out to the new listeners, the returning listeners, and those that didn't come back, but we'll be back soon. Those on iTunes, Spotify, Spreaker, iHeartRadio, and Spotify. Shout out to Spotify for supplying us with the music that we listen to pre-pod that Dan really got into his emotional bag about, because I play emotional music before we start this podcast. That's one of our little hidden facts. They're like, why? Anyhow, with that being said, shout out to the independent men, independent women. Shout out to Dan. Shout out to Fab. Shout out to everyone doing their thing in the city. Shout out to those getting prepped for the long weekend. Be safe. And yeah, man, just shout out to everyone. We just got too much stuff to get into this weekend. I will shout out to all the teams that became champions this weekend, which I guess is where we're going to start with. And yeah, that's about it. We shout everyone too much.
Yeah.
And this week we're not going to do it.
No.
Next Monday,
Keep it low key.
after we recharge, everyone gets a shout out. This week, no one gets a shout out. But if Dan's good, I'm good. Mics are good. Soundboard's good. He got his wild
Camera's
takes off. If camera's not good, who cares?
All right.
No one want to see us anyway. So
Fair enough.
And so since you're good and I'm good, let's get it rolling. It's the InnerViews Podcast, episode 76. I'm in direct from Toronto, Ontario, with your guy Tyrrell. We're about to get a pop, and we got to go all the way to England, because that's the only thing that Dan watched. The Prem boys are back. Well, one half of the Prem boys. And we got to take this all the way to the Amex. The Amex? The Amex? The Amex? I'll call it whatever I want. We're going to the Amex, where Manchester City gave everyone a bit of a scare. And
your boy Glenn?
Yeah, shout out to Glenn. Told you, man. Glenn get it popping, even though his work rate is terrible.
Yeah.
He's really old. But yeah, like I said, they're gonna give them a bit of a scare. They did that for like 60 seconds. Then Manchester City hit them back, and after that, it was smooth sailing. And we have our first title retention in over a decade. Over a decade.
Yes.
Yeah. Since Manchester United went for that three-peat, and Manchester City are now on course for that, because, as many expected, even though they kind of had to do it the hard way, Pep Guardiola goes back to back with this Manchester City squad, accumulating 98 points in the process, and ensuring that Liverpool, despite winning at Anfield against Wolves, will not be Premier League champions. Dan, how do you feel? How do you feel?
Honestly,
let us know.
I mean, I think this is, and we've said this on many of occasions, I think this is probably one of the best Premier League teams that we've seen in quite some time, and probably equipped with a couple of adjustments, but what they have now, equipped enough to probably three-peat next year as well. This is a very good Manchester City squad, and I would be highly surprised if they don't win the domestic treble.
Is that what they're calling it? That's what it is, but
yeah, that's what they're calling it.
I'll call it a treble. I don't care.
Yeah, that's fine. Look, this was a top display by a championship team. I don't think there's much more to say about that. I was actually surprised that he included Mahrez in that starting lineup.
Yeah, it's all y'all need to shut up.
Why?
Because everyone's trying to kill Pep and kill Mahrez for starting that. I don't know about you to shut you up, but everyone got to shut up, because everyone's trying to kill Mahrez for starting in that game. And then Mahrez goes and has a great game.
Yeah, he did.
And then scores a great goal.
Yeah. Yeah. I just thought it was a surprise inclusion.
Continue.
I mean, look, the players that we have harped on that have been the best in that squad all year had one of their better games. Bernardo Silva was typical him. I thought Sterling had a good game. I thought Aguero was typical Aguero, had a chance and scored. I thought the back two of Company and Laporte were as solid as they always have been all year. And who did I miss? Your boy David Silva wasn't great, but he's got to shave his head. And Goodwin played well in the middle of the park too. So, and a nice free kick goal by him. So all in all, I mean, there wasn't much that surprised me from that game. The only thing that did surprise me was that they let Brighton get in that little goal at the beginning off some poor set piece, which is not a Manchester City trait, but Other than that, I mean, look, it was straightforward.
That's it. That's all you got to hit me with?
Yeah, I mean,
They didn't start great, and I thought the only thing that you could kill Pep for was that Sterling was kind of playing central for a bit, but then they fixed that after that, and yeah, there was no real surprises. They did what they had to do, and they kind of went out with a bang, which is kind of good. I know that the Premier League tried to really hype it up and make it seem that perhaps we'd get a shock, and that's why Dan watched both games simultaneously, and you had the fans with the radios and they were listening, and City just kind of did what they've been doing, and I'm gonna go on the ledge and say that they are the best Premier League team under over a certain period that we have seen, just because last year was 100, this year was 98, not much of a drop off. And if you really think about it, if Mahrez doesn't miss that stupid ass penalty at Anfield, which would have really came back to bite him if they didn't end up winning this game and Liverpool won the title, then that's 100 again.
yes,
And that just goes to show how great they've been, and they've been great under pretty good circumstances that most teams wouldn't be that good, because I'm pretty sure they haven't played with their best player for pretty much the entire season.
is
And
that Kevin for you?
yeah,
Okay.
so they haven't played with him for most of the season. They haven't played with a notable left back over the past 2 seasons. And
Benjamin Mendy, yeah,
yeah,
give you that too.
yeah, they haven't played with him, and they've had Delph and they've had Zinchenko at left back. Now you tell me how many teams could do that and go out and do what they've done. And then Fernandinho, who was at some point halfway through the season, many people were saying that he is the most important player to this Manchester City squad. And during that second half of the season, he wasn't really there and he wasn't really missed.
Nope.
And in between that, no, not much of a John Stones appearance, and they've gone through the center backs. Laporte has been the standout for them, and for the second best center back by fine margins in the Premier League this season. And they've gone through. Otamendi's played there, and they've had Company come back, which we thought he was finished, and he probably is, but he finished off the season in fine fashion. And then you really look at what else is really there for them. Bernardo Silva has kind of stepped up. Leroy Sané hasn't really featured. So they've done what they've had to do. And they've done it with notable injuries that I don't think many teams could lose those significant players to their key sides. Like imagine Chelsea or imagine Liverpool losing their key players for a long stretch of the season and going to do what Manchester City have done. And that's a testament to Pep, and that's a testament to this squad. And it just goes to show that with this particularly young core, they only have to make a few changes. And I think that they could instantly go back and replicate this. Perhaps not go as far as staying in all four competitions, because at some point, hey, you lose a Carabao Cup or a FA Cup tie. But I feel like they could obviously they could go again in the Premier League, and they'll look to do one more in the Champions League. So I think they'll be fine, and if they could really look to fix those areas, which to me is a left back, because I think Benjamin Mendy's days are done.
Okay,
And
that was gonna be my question for you.
what the Ben Chilwell thing, if that was the case, but
No,
that's the
oh no,
rumor.
okay. That's who your replacement would be.
I think that's the rumored left back that is going to be going there. And if
Okay.
they're going to keep it within the Premier League, I think he's up there with the best left backs in the league. And yeah, I would like to say that he's up there with the now heralded Robertson. And then they're going to get a defensive midfielder. And I've told you before that they're linked with Rodri. And I
Yep.
think that would be very good for them if they were to go that route. And we'll see how that manifests. And they're gonna need a center back, because Otamendi's apparently wanting to leave.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure Vincent Company's on his last leg, so
And you don't trust Stones.
No, I do trust Stones. I just find it interesting that I feel like Stones should play much more next season, and that leaves them with two center backs.
So they're looking for a replacement.
They're looking for another body in there,
Okay.
opposed to Company and Otamendi.
What about up front?
And then up front, we'll see what they do there.
Is that if you had to prioritize, would it be in the middle, in the back, and then up front, or in the back more
Well, if two of their center backs are going to go, this then center back is priority.
Yeah.
And then I would like to think that midfield is next because we don't know the status of Gundogan, and Fernandinho is like 34 or 35.
And David Silva.
And then, well, David Silva feels like you have a replacement there with Bernardo Silva. So
Okay.
I don't think they lose much there. And then up front would be next. Up front is third. But obviously up front is kind of tied with central midfield. It's just that the bodies that they have in central midfield are kind of depleted, or getting old. So that's why it's there.
How many more years do you see Aguero?
We'll see.
2?
I really hope they do replace him at some point, sooner rather than later.
Yeah. Could you see him taking a lesser role?
Perhaps. I feel like he's City through and through, and I don't know where else he would go unless it's perhaps MLS. You would obviously use that as a potential market for him, or China, or perhaps back to Argentina. That's the obvious answers, right?
Yep.
Because I don't think anyone else is going to give him a big pay package now. And I want to see life after Sergio Aguero. I feel like this season was great, but it would be nice to see them move forward and start elsewhere. And I don't know the status of Gabriel, but I really want him to become good as well. So it'd be nice to see how he develops. He's going to get a chance at Copa America, perhaps. And if not, he gets a summer off and he gets to really work with Pep. And then I feel like they'll make their decision from there.
Mhm.
So that's kind of where they stand.
You don't see Pep leaving?
Now, no. To do what?
No, I'm just asking.
Well,
do you see him leaving?
Well, I feel like you asked that question because perhaps someone has mentioned it or someone has. It's
No,
been
because
speculated.
I mean, look, he's at this point he's won everything there is to win in England. If especially if he wins the FA Cup next weekend.
This weekend.
It's this weekend.
Yeah.
Okay. You're right. What's left for him to achieve in England? To win 3 in a row?
Yeah. To win 3 in a row, to win the Champions League. He'll say that that's not the main priority, but he would love to win it there. And it's
do you believe that?
Yeah, I do.
You believe that it's not the main priority? I think that's a load of shit.
No, I don't think it is, because at the end of the day, the goal there is to build something that's sustainable and to ensure that they are the biggest club in Manchester for years to come. The Champions League is a bonus, and yes, that is the narrative that will be spun because it is now the biggest competition. But I don't think he loses sleep over not winning the Champions League.
But I think that's the thing he's got to focus on next year. He's shown that he can win the Premier League. They're being built to win the Champions League. That's the next step for them.
I just think it's unrealistic to just solely prioritize the Champions League because it's 2 legs and the away goal and the form that you're in at that time. I just think that and a lot of luck has to go your way. The league is the priority. You build off that. You set a mark. You show a dominance that hasn't been there since Ferguson. You show that you could build that Ferguson isn't the only person that could set that dominance in a league, and you move forward. At some point, it's going to crack. But
so after you've set the dominance in the league, is that when you start to focus on the Champions League?
No, the Champions League is the icing on the cake. Ferguson won 2, and he was in England for how long?
So then, what's the difference between this City team and Juve?
What's the difference between this City team and Juve?
What's the difference between if City go ahead and win a 3rd Premier League title in a row? At some point, they've got to say that the league is still second to the Champions League.
No, because Juve have never been pushed to the final day and had to record 98 points to win the league.
Well, last year they still had to put up a decent point. Napoli had 92 points last year.
It's a one-off.
Well, they were pushed in the past too.
One-off out of like 7 or 8.
Yeah.
If City win the league 8 years in a row and no one comes close to ever beating them, which is not going to happen by any stretch of the imagination, and the league is forever won by March,
yeah,
then there's a problem.
Okay.
Well,
I'm
that's
just asking. It was
but
just a question.
but that's not the case here.
Yeah.
At some point, you're like to think that he's going to win. At some point, I don't think they will put themselves in positions that Juve were in and not win.
Right.
So Juve get a lot of stick because they've come really close. And obviously, given who they've played and whatnot, they haven't been able to get it done.
Mhm.
So that's why. And the Ronaldo thing doesn't help after that.
No, of
either.
course not.
So
Uh,
if City were to make a signing like that, where it really shows that they're here to win,
Yeah.
then that's a different story.
That gives him a little pressure.
But they're building a young core that it's going to be around for an extremely long time. So you have to take that with how it goes, right? So that's why it's not really in that same light.
That's fair. What else do you want to say about this game?
Well, not about the game. It's about Manchester City.
Okay.
This is the game. The game don't matter.
No, you're right.
That's why I found it funny that we have to watch anything in the Premier League. The game doesn't matter. The narratives kind of shape themselves. So
All right. What else? What else do you feel about the City team?
pretty much they just gotta get a left back. Everything, just the signings there.
Is so for you? Is Mendy done?
I think you've gone 2 years and he's barely played, and I just don't see
Pep doesn't show any patience.
how long. How much more can you be patient?
I don't know.
No, no. 2 years is a very long time.
Yeah.
For you to not feature in any games, and I just think there's something there behind the scenes as well, where he doesn't look like he's really focused on that either. So that could be harsh because I don't know him that well, but that's just the vibe that we get.
Yeah.
And yeah, I feel like he has to go elsewhere. He needs someone reliable to play in that position, and I feel like that elevates them to a different level and gives them a new dimension. And if you look across to what Ben Chilwell has been doing this season, then I can't see why they wouldn't want to go that way, and I can't see why he wouldn't want to go that way as well. And it also keeps. I'm pretty sure Ben Chilwell is English, so it really benefits the national team as well. So, I just don't see why they wouldn't try to make that move. You can't continue playing Zinchenko and Fabian Delph at your left back and expect to win things. And you could look at the Champions League this season itself, where Fabian Delph doesn't make that decision. You have a natural left back there. They probably don't lose that tie to Spurs.
Right.
So that's what I really have to say about that. And they're just so much better if they have a natural left back. So
I agree with everything you just said.
and then you go to Liverpool. Since you watch Liverpool, what did you think about that? Because you thought Wolves.
You know what? I actually thought Wolves were quite poor, and I know you want to shit on Wolves, so we'll shit on Wolves. Yeah, I didn't I didn't I expected a little bit more from Wolves. I don't know why, um, but
Yeah, why?
I don't know. But Liverpool were clinical when they had the chances. Um, Sane is Mane is in some fantastic form, and so is Alexander Arnold from that right back position. He's actually maybe been the best right back in the Premier League this year. And
Not that there's much competition.
no,
But one day we have to really dissect when not that the point that you made is incorrect or anything. But one day we gotta really dissect when we make those statements and just be like,
who else is there?
Yeah,
Yeah.
who else is really there?
That's fair.
I put Hector Bellerin second, or Kyle Walker.
Yeah.
Well, Kyle Walker's had a bad season, so I put Bellerin second. He hasn't really played
Yeah, it's true.
this season. So so that's why I find when people say that, it's kind of whatever. But continue.
But yeah, they were clinical in front of goal. I mean, I think for them, they were they 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 took care of what they needed to take care of, and they needed to win, and and they did. And unfortunately, they put themselves in the position where they needed some help from Brighton. And let's be honest, they were really never going to get that help. But at the end of the day, they did two things in my eyes. They got the win, which they needed to. So they gave themselves a chance, and they got out of that game without any major injuries as well, because the next big game is against Spurs. So for me, they they accomplished what they needed to accomplish. They got the win, and they didn't have any major injuries to come out of it. I don't think there was much more to say about that than that itself.
Oh no, you got a lot to say about that. I don't really care about. I didn't watch the game because I didn't really care. Nothing about that game would have shaped any opinion
Okay.
on whatever Liverpool did this season or whatever Wolves have done this season. So I don't want to use the injury card for Liverpool too. They've missed some key players, and they've been able to kind of not key players, but they've missed players over the stretch, and they've been able to bring it down to the wire. And I remember at the start of this podcast this season, we said that perhaps we'd kill them. I'm gonna say for what I feel about Liverpool for later this week.
Okay.
But what I will say here is that now we're reaching a point where, and this is the point where I expected Klopp to be. He's been there for what, 4 years?
Yep.
And around that 4 year cycle is when you kind of reach your peak. And now I'm really interested to see where they go from here because a lot of people feel, well, it's kind of split where people feel like they're able to replicate this next season or possibly get better. And then there's me who feels like this is their peak and I don't know how they could replicate this. And I don't know how, well, one, if they're going to have any major offers from any other club. But I feel like perhaps maybe they've set the standard where now they're not going to sell players and those players maybe want to stay. They don't have they don't have too many players that could go off in the market for big money, but they have a few. And besides that, it's like, how do they get better? And how does Klopp go one up? And how are they able to maintain these energy levels to do this again? Because we expect City, and it's now looking to be the standard that the Premier League has set, which is very high, as to win the league, you're gonna have to get 90 points. And I don't know if Liverpool could do that again. And I feel like it's going to be interesting because now they could go into the summer. Do they look to bring in any players? Do they look to offload any players? So it's an interesting time, and it's interesting to see how Klopp will look to do one better and try to get better because a lot of stuff has gone their way this season. A lot of fortune.
I'll answer that question. I guess you're posing it as a question, so I'll answer it.
It's just a statement, but if you have something to chime in on it,
I think they need some cover in the back. I think they're one injury away on that left side with Robertson, who's coming in right now. Moreno, that's a huge drop. So
they put James there.
Yeah,
they could put Trent there.
And who's gonna go on the other side?
Joe.
Who?
Joe.
And then they're still an injury away from the center back. So they need some cover in the back.
Okay. I don't know where they're gonna get that.
I don't know, but you're asking me what they need, so I'm just gonna tell you what they need. Okay. So they need some cover in the back, and they need at least another striker up in there because I think it's a drop off when you only have Shaqiri sitting on the bench and he wasn't used very much in that second half of the season. You kind of need a young guy to come in to be able to push those three, so that they have a little bit of.
Origi, isn't it?
No, Origi's not the answer.
Well, I don't know. You see, the two positions, and this is based on how Klopp has constructed the side and the way that they operate, is that it's not easy to find a striker that's going to play that position.
No, I'm just
No, but I know. But at the same time, we got to look at, well, who could they possibly bring in, right?
Yeah,
like, I don't think it's that easy to bring in someone that's going to come in and really make an impact, even if it's off the bench, or to make a difference when those players aren't there. If they're not there,
I can give you a name right off the top. It's not feasible, but I'll give you Lorenzo Insigne. That's the type of guy that you would want. It's not a feasible name, but I'm just telling you that's the type of player that they would be looking at. Some guy who could cut left in off the wing, whether it be on the right, whether it be on the left.
Is he any better than Shaqiri?
Oh, I think so.
Okay.
I mean, I think he is.
Okay.
And he gives you a little bit of dynamicism, whatever the word is.
Dynamism. Is he able to press like that for long stretches? I mean, I just mean that I don't know if he is. I'm not here to debate whether he is or he isn't. Is he that much better than Shaqiri?
I think it's I think it's an improvement. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
How about Isco?
No, that's not happening. That Isco does not fit the mold of that squad. No, that's not going to work out. That's not going to work out. If that would be the case, he wouldn't have his problems that he has at Madrid.
Okay.
So I don't think that's going to work out either. So that's my point. Is that
how about Diego Costa?
That shifts the entire way that they play, though.
Okay.
You see what I mean? Like, there's so many. It has to be the right. I feel like they have the perfect mold there. That any other player that you bring in, perhaps they may be good enough to play for any other club, but to fit into the way that he wants them to play or the way that they want to play, it's tough, right? So that's kind of the issue that I see with that squad is that it's kind of like you're gonna want dynamic, direct players that can interchange and play different roles, and or you want someone like a Firmino who could drop off a bit deeper and allow them to kind of spring in behind. So I don't know how they would shift that. And then for the defense, I feel like they would have to go young rather than buy anyone that's already established or marquee, because where those players I don't know where those players would fit. Obviously, the big thing is if Van Dijk goes down, because if Van Dijk goes down, Van Dijk has been able to play with anyone that's played at center back this season. And in the fullback positions, I mean, they can interchange if it's a younger player, and they've been able to get by based off the system. But not having a replacement for Robertson or Arnold hasn't really killed them.
Right.
They've been able to get by. But I see where you're coming from with that. I'm interested to see how they go about it, because I don't know what their transfer market's going to be like, and I don't know where they're going to go from there. If that makes any sense, I just don't know where they see themselves strengthening and how they intend on doing that without making some sort of stylistic change. But it'd be interesting to see how they do go about it, if they're going to intend on playing the same way
I,
and bringing in new players.
Milner's 33 this year, so
Yeah.
I think that you need to freshen up that midfield a little bit. I think Jordan is still okay. He's only 28 years old, so I still think that he's got legs in him. I don't know how many more years Milner has left in him, and I think they should take advantage of Milner in terms of his role in the team. So if you want to bring in, you talk about bringing in somebody fresh, somebody new, and I think it's not a bad idea to bring in somebody fresh and new in that midfield and have James kind of take that person underneath his wing and kind of show him the ropes and whatnot. Who that person is, I don't know, but that's how I could see how I could see Liverpool still utilizing Milner. One guy, and I just was looking at it now, who I could see leaving would be Surge. Daniel Surge.
Oh yeah.
I don't see.
Yeah, that's a given.
Yeah, I don't see.
That's a given.
There's a place.
See, I even said who because I don't even know.
Yeah.
Who?
Um.
Whatever. No, I get it.
and, and I think this is even a guy like Adam Lallana. I don't know what his role in the club would be.
If he stays
moving
healthy,
forward.
if he stays healthy, then that's the biggest issue with him. His health issues, but he could still play a key role in that midfield as well.
Yeah, and I don't see how many more years Dan Lovren has in this club either.
Why?
Because I think they need a better center back than him. I know he's the best center back in the world in accordance to him, but
Yeah, he's played fine whenever he's been there.
yeah,
He's not going to play week in week out.
Yeah,
they're fine at the center back position. So Lovren's basically their fourth center back.
Yeah,
so they're fine there. I don't think they need any more center backs. Realistically, they don't. They don't need to go down that edge or down that ledge, right? So yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Like I said, I don't know what their transfer market's going to be like. I can't speculate. I don't know where they're going to go forward. I just do question whether this is their peak, and that's all I'm really going to say on it right now, because I have a lot to say about their season, and I'll get to that. But all I got to say is that they better win the Champions League, and I'll leave that there, because if they don't win the Champions League, then whatever I say later on this week will be reiterated on this podcast, and to a much more stern degree.
Okay.
And I'll leave that where that is,
All right.
because we got to get to the rest of these bums. And yeah, Spurs didn't finish in third, so much for your third, England's best third team, third
Yep.
best team in England.
Yep.
Yeah, they blew that.
Yep.
And when they don't win the Champions League, or if they don't win the Champions League, it would kill them even more.
That's fine. At least they finished in the top four. Well, that's good enough for them.
Anyways, no, it's not. There, it's
Nope.
not. Yeah, what you got to do.
Okay.
You don't need to tell me that on the podcast. It don't really matter to me whether they finish in fourth. They were supposed to finish in the top four, and that's all I can really say.
Job done.
They were supposed to.
Yep, good for them. They did their job.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
That's where they got themselves in the Champions League spots. So good for them. I heard a rumor this week about Poch,
Which is
possibly off to Juve. Is that a good move for him? Because we talked to him about him last week.
I mean, any move, any move other than Spurs is good for him.
Yeah, but we said there's some moves that are lateral for him.
Okay.
My question is, do you consider that Juve job a lateral move for him, a bigger club? You know,
I don't think that move is good for either of them, but
why?
that's what it is. Well, what's Spurs? What?
Because remember what we said last week? We named some.
What are you? What's Juve trying to do?
They're trying to win the Champions League.
Okay.
You're asking me what are they trying to do? That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to put a team together to be able to win the Champions League.
I never trust that guy because of what he did this season.
No, I'm saying to you, is that a good move for him?
Oh, okay. Well, no. I first want to ask what they're trying to do before I get into him.
Okay, they're trying to win the Champions League.
Okay. Don't agree with it. Well, I agree with what you're saying, but I don't agree with what they're doing.
Okay.
And is that a good move for him? I said anything leaving Spurs is not a bad deal,
right?
And it obviously ups his stock. I just don't think that's the right project for him, based on the fact that I don't know what the hell Juve are trying to do.
Okay.
I don't, in terms of what they're trying to do with their transfers, what their main objective is, how they're trying to push forward as a club, because I don't know who they're signing, and all their signings over the past few years to me have been underwhelming, besides the one that they made last summer.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I just think that if that's the only offer that he gets, I would think about it. But if he gets more, that would probably be the last one of the three that I mentioned prior.
That's fair.
Because I don't know what he's trying to accomplish there. And I think that would just be that he could really be the scapegoat, because given that I expect the other clubs in Italy to kind of try and do something this summer and get better managers,
we'll get to those clubs
then
in a couple weeks.
Then what? We're supposed to start whatever. And given what they're trying to do, I just feel like nah. I think I would stay away from that. That is a fire that I don't want to get into.
All right.
If I'm a manager right now. And about Spurs finishing in fourth, no, that's
job done for them, I feel.
Okay. Well, they better win something.
Yeah.
They were winning something.
No, I feel like it's they've achieved their minimum amount.
Okay.
That's if you ask a Spurs fan at the beginning of the year, reach the Champions League final, finish in fourth as well. I mean, I think a realistic Spurs fan bites your hand off with that, and that's for them, job done.
They're just saying that because they complained that they didn't get any transfers and didn't look at what's happening at the other clubs and realize that they're the most they're the most sustainable / reliable club in the league, and they didn't really need any transfers to accomplish what they wanted to accomplish.
Yep.
So that's a bit like naive of them to say that, but I expect them to say that. But yeah, for sure, if you want to give them fourth, that's fine. I mean, I don't really care. Chelsea finished third. Goes to show you where this league is going.
Yeah.
And yeah, they played to a very dry 0-0, and it was perhaps Eden Hazard's last game in the Premier League.
Yep.
Because now the rumor is going across the world that he is gonna make a $100 million move to Real Madrid after the Europa League.
Yeah.
And that's apparently where he's gonna go. And boy, Eden,
no
I'm not surprised. I'm surprised that Real Madrid are trying to pay that much, and I'd be shocked.
Are you surprised?
Yeah, I'm not surprised that they are, but I'm also disappointed that they are.
Oh, okay.
And I'm surprised that Chelsea are going to let him go for solely $100 million. But I guess they're perhaps scared that he'll stay and then he'll walk for free after, or something along those lines. So take what you could take now and use that to invest in whatever you want to invest in. Hey, man, it was great. It's been nice. I still think
you'll miss him.
I think everyone will miss him.
I thought you made a good point last week. I think he is probably the best player in the Premier League, and I think the Premier League is going to is going to miss him in terms of his quality. And I think anybody who tells you otherwise doesn't watch enough of the way he plays for this Chelsea team. He might have had not the best year statistically, but I think he is by far and away Chelsea's best player, and he is by far and away the Premier League's best player.
I just hope it works out for him. I don't think it will right now, but we'll see how it goes. But and we'll see how Zidane, if that is what's going to happen, we'll see how he's able to mold him. Because now this is the Real Madrid thing is great because we haven't touched on them in a while. Is that now we get to really see how good Zidane is, and this is a great testament to see whether he's able to get it done.
Am I right in saying that you don't have very much faith in him?
I don't.
I'm talking about Zidane, not Eden.
I don't have faith in both of them.
Okay.
Accomplishing what they think they're going to accomplish there. So I will be on record to say that.
Let me ask you, because who do you think goes first? Oli or Zizou?
Ollie. We'll get to him in a second. I don't even know if he's going to make it past. I don't even know if he's going to make it past this year.
No.
So
no.
If United have any sense,
no.
If United have any sense, they will pull that trigger right
now.
No,
they will not.
If they have any sense.
No.
I said if they. I didn't say they're going to do it.
Oh, okay.
Listen to what I said. I said if they have any sense.
They don't have any sense, is what I'm trying to tell you.
Okay, well that's
the answer why I said they're not going to pull the trigger.
Well, what I was saying did not really require an answer.
I gave it to you anyway.
Okay, well,
you're welcome.
No, not really, but I'm not thanking you. But we'll see about that. And yeah, he should go. He'll probably go before Zidane does.
Okay.
I don't even think that's a fair question. Zidane will stay at least till the end of the season unless they really shit the bed.
Okay.
Which, given all the signings that he's going to bring in, I don't think that he will. But I don't think he's going to achieve what they think he's going to achieve.
Oh.
Chelsea, Chelsea finished third. No one knows what their summer's going to be like. Pulisic is going to come in. Are they going to trust the young folks? What do they do post-Hazard? Are they going to be able to make any transfers? Because that saga's still kind of going on. And
I just assumed that the answer to that one was no.
I don't think it's done and dusted yet.
Okay.
But we'll see where they go with that. And then at the end of it, does Sarri stay? Does he go? Will he be the scapegoat next season? Which could be the possibility, but it don't really matter to me.
Matters to me.
The fans don't want him there, so he could stay. And there's a lot of speculation that he's not really a player manager, and that would really help him out in this situation if he kind of opened up to the players and perhaps the fans. But if he wants to die on his ledge, he'll die on his ledge. And I'm just shocked they haven't really pulled that plug yet. And I still feel like I would still be surprised if he's manager come the start of next season. So, yeah. That's all I got to say. I'm not saying it's right, but
you just wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
So then we get to the other bums, the other two.
Well, there's only one bum there. The other one gets a pass.
Okay.
And the other one's going to be better than Spurs next season. Whether Poch stays there or doesn't, unless the owners don't give Unai any money.
Okay.
But yeah, United lost to Cardiff.
Yeah.
They tied to Huddersfield last week.
Yep.
And the fans were chanting stuff to Paul.
Yeah, they were.
I get it, but they were chanting too many. There was a lot of negativity.
Yeah.
Too much. People say I hate Paul. Oh, they hate Paul.
Oh, they do. He's trying to make peace.
They hate Paul, man. And I just...
Did you hear what they were saying?
Yeah, I heard what they were saying.
I know, because
that's why we're not playing on the podcast. I would normally play it, but...
Oh, I couldn't hear what they were saying.
Oh, they were telling him where to go.
Oh, okay.
And how to go there.
Oh.
Yeah, so...
Not in a nice way, I'm assuming.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, you can't lose to Cardiff, man. You can't. Because Cardiff is really bad. Like, Cardiff is... Out of the 3 teams that got relegated, I would like to say that Cardiff is, based off talent, is the worst.
Okay.
So kudos for them for doing whatever they've done this season. Because there's some games they should have won, they didn't win.
You think they're worse than Huddersfield?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think they're worse than Huddersfield.
All right.
Huddersfield's bad, but they're worse than Huddersfield.
Okay.
Oh, they're like both of them are championship tier teams.
Yeah, no. I always just, when I watched Huddersfield play, I mean, they have a poor team, but I thought Cardiff was mildly better.
I think Huddersfield was just poorly coached, whereas Cardiff was better coached
and poorly constructed.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair.
They just don't have any quality.
Yeah.
I don't know. We never.
And
knew
then
Fulham score goals.
Fulham is the best team that got relegated. Is that what you're saying?
And based off talent.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, based off talent.
Okay.
Yeah. It's too top heavy. Extremely top heavy.
Yeah.
So I just United, we know what United did,
Mhm.
and to give Ollie his credit, I mean he's a fantastic caretaker manager, but you
Is
know,
he?
uh
Is he really? Though, honestly, is he really?
caretaker, yeah, because well
What did
usually
he? What did he do to be such a great care, caretaker manager?
well caretaker managers are just supposed to kind of up the spirit at the club, but he just got hired too early. Caretaker managers normally, for the most part, don't get hired that early into the season because he was there before the turn of the new year. They usually get hired around February, March, and he did what he could.
So then, are you saying that Ranieri at Roma is a fantastic caretaker manager?
No, he's not.
Why?
Why?
Yeah,
Because
he's up the morale of that club.
yeah, but he's not. She's technically not your average caretaker manager. He's supposed to be an actual manager. Ollie has given us. Ollie's had what, 2 jobs at Cardiff, and we know how that went. And then he was somewhere
In Sweden.
or wherever he was. Ranieri is supposed to go there and change something.
Oh,
He's expected to. His resume solidifies that.
okay.
And yeah, he's it's been a bit too inconsistent for me. He's getting it. He's getting it done now. And if you want to make that case, well, then yeah, he's like I don't really care about who a fantastic caretaker managers are.
Yeah.
There aren't really many because not everyone's a caretaker manager. But I think he did a decent job up until now, where they ran out of gas, and it just kind of goes to show the limitations of the squad. You can only really up the morale for so long. I feel if Ranieri was in the same position, he ain't gonna do anything better,
No.
and he's kind of shown me that with what he did with Fulham. So you know, we still kill him, but at the same time, it's United's fault for putting him in this position. I don't think he honestly got that job and thought that he would be the full time manager of that club going into
I
into the
agree.
next season.
I agree with you 100%. I don't think he takes that job thinking that this is going to be his gig next year. I always think he was going back to. I think he was at Malmo.
Well, he accepted it, so
Yeah,
but
but
going
you
in,
have to.
yeah, no, you don't.
What,
You don't have to accept it.
the full time job?
No,
Oh, come on.
you don't have to. You
Uh,
don't have.
I
to.
mean, I guess you don't have to by in theory.
Yeah, you say you lay you lay your bed. He set himself up for this too, so he kind of does have. That's why he has to get killed too, because I saw the jig.
Yeah,
How did he not see the jig? He thought he was going to perform miracles.
yeah,
That
he was blind.
He was going to turn them around.
Nope.
And now it's like from top 4 aspirations to perhaps challenging next season to now. We need X amount of players, or some players aren't cut from the same cloth.
But and we've said this on a number of occasions, and I don't want to go back and repeat it. But out of all of those top 6, they're the one that have the biggest rebuild.
Yeah,
They're the ones that are going to have to try to sign the big name players that will play for your club now that you're not in the biggest competition.
Yeah.
Club competition, that is.
Yeah.
So good luck to them.
Good luck to Ollie.
Yeah, but it's gonna be a big challenge for him to bring in the players that he's gonna want to try to bring in to fight for that top 4 next year.
Yeah, which is why they should have some sense and do what they know they have to do. And we'll see if they do it, but they need to have some sense and get that shit sorted out. And then we get to Arsenal, who did win and just miss out on the top 4, but could still finish in the Champions League by the way that they probably expected to do it at the start of the season, which is winning the Europa League.
Yep.
And barring a Hazard stormer, I kind of slightly fancy them to do that, but that guy makes a difference, and he has in like big cup games in recent years for Chelsea. So, they are the favorites, but you just feel like there's so much on the line for Arsenal here. And if there's any time for them to show up, the Lakas, the Obamas, the Mezits, the Iwobis, it's kind of now.
Yep.
So, and I really want them to do well, and I really hope they give Unai some money, because if not, boy, Boy, well then they're kind of setting him up to fail, and
Yep.
then yeah, so that kind of sets things there and that really kind of really ruins the league in a sense, even though they still all kind of did fairly well in these little cup competitions, but you just expect some sort of stagnation next year. So that's about that. Everyone else that got relegated got relegated. Um, did they name I was pretty sure they named the Premier League Team of the Year, but get to that next week
Yep.
if it matters. Aubameyang, Salah, Mane, they all tied for Golden Boot.
Correct.
Oh, good for them. I don't really care.
Yeah. Van Dijk won Defender of the Year, and Allison won Golden Gloves.
And that was it.
Yep.
Hazard didn't win nothing for
Nothing.
his assists.
No.
Oh, he just got an award for having the most assists.
Yeah.
Good for him. And they had a team, right? I'm pretty sure the team was pretty much as expected, except Allison was in net, and then like Mane, they did 4-2-3-1.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's good.
And Pogba was in there.
He wasn't in there.
Oh, he was not in that one?
No, I don't think he was in that one.
Oh, okay. He was in the other one.
Yeah. And
Okay.
then, yeah. Did Wolves finish 7th?
Yes.
Oh, shit.
No.
No, they didn't, right?
No, they did not.
Good. Good. Can't wait to see what they do.
Yeah, they did finish 7th.
Oh, they did?
Yeah.
How many points ahead of Leicester and thing?
3 points ahead of Everton and 5 points ahead of Leicester.
And they finished ahead of Watford because Watford kind of dropped a few games because
Yes.
they have a big FA Cup tie this weekend against Manchester City.
That's right.
Where
They
City
were
go for the treble,
they were
which I think City will win.
9 points back of United in 6th.
Who, Watford?
No. Wolves.
Oh, okay. Well, Watford's still my team of the year, or my surprise team of the year, by the way, because everyone
They
had them,
finished 11th.
good for them. Everyone had them being relegated at the start of this season, and they're going to a cup final. So
Yeah.
shout out to them.
Brighton sacked their manager today.
Yeah, and I'm not surprised. They kind of had to do that, and it's not that he did a bad job, but they have to go. They have to move forward, and they spent a lot of money this summer, and they have some decent players, but they play too reactive, and those decent players are now doing defensive roles that they probably shouldn't be doing if you want to get the best out of them. So I feel like they need to go in a new direction, and there are a lot of decent managers in the Premier League that we'll see who that they could possibly attract.
Yep.
If they lose their job. So shout to Chris Huden, salute. That's just kind of how it goes, and yeah, sometimes sacking a manager isn't because they failed, but because the club needs to go in a new direction. We've seen this happen numerous times.
I'm with you. I don't. I thought it was the right. I thought it was the right thing to do, and I like him as a coach, but I think Brighton do the right thing and start fresh next year. And they had a little sentimental salute to their captain Bruno, and yeah, let's see what's in store for those type of clubs next year.
That's it with the Premier League. The biggest thing that happened this weekend was in Germany, and we'll get to that quickly because, well, yeah, we're done with Spain, eh?
We're done.
Well, Diego Godin's gone.
Yes,
and
he had an emotional send off.
Yeah, is he the only one that was leaving? I'm pretty sure there was someone else. But
Robin van Persie retired.
Oh yeah, shout out to him. And yeah, Godin gotta go, man.
Yeah,
Godin gotta go. Wherever you go next, if it is,
could be
luck.
Inter.
Oh, they better hope not. There ain't not much legs in there.
Yeah, I know.
So we'll see how they go about that. Maybe one more season.
Yeah.
With no Europe.
Yeah.
And then give them some rest here and there. And Barca, they didn't really kill Valverde or anyone. And
No.
I don't know what happened at Real Madrid.
They lost again.
Okay, whatever. Their season don't really start till next season. So.
Yeah, exactly.
We got to Germany, man. Germany, it's going down to the final day. I do want to say that this is the better title race out of the two. And I say that because at the end of the day, there's a lot of suspense. There have been a lot of plot twists. And you know what? Bayern Munich may not win the league.
Yeah?
They may not win the league.
But there's 2 more rounds there, right?
No, there's one. If Bayern won last weekend, they would have won the league.
So, because this weekend's the 18th. That's right. Yeah.
So Bayern would have won the league if they went to Leipzig and won.
Yeah, and they play Frankfurt this weekend.
I know,
yeah.
Which would be fitting because Nico would lose
after
after
leaving
after beating Bayern last season in the cup final with Frankfurt, now he could lose the league on the final day to his old employers, who have to be a bit upset after getting knocked out of the Europa League to Chelsea.
Yep.
And would it be funny? Because I don't care how difficult it is to go to Leipzig. I don't care how good Leipzig are. You are on the road. You are a win away from winning the league. You go out there and win the league.
Yep.
Like a champion. And they had chances, and Leipzig did offer a bit of a scare on the counterattack. Nothing crazy. But Bayern had chances to win that game. And they blew it. And they've kind of showed us why. It was kind of a performance that kind of shows why perhaps Nico may not be there next season. And yeah, it was right there in front of you, and you kind of got to finish the job off. And they didn't. They just didn't. And then you go over to Dortmund, and I love Dusseldorf, by the way. And Luke Bacchio's my guy. But he can't miss a penalty shot like that.
No.
He can't miss a penalty shot like that. And Dortmund, without Royce, we've said they go as far as Royce goes. They kind of saved it. Goetze scored at the end.
Yeah.
And then after that.
What I was going to say is, because I didn't watch any of those games, but they give themselves a chance. And I think that's all you can ask for in that final day. And we said that in the Premier League, and I'm going to say the same thing in the Bundesliga. Dortmund have given themselves a chance to win this. They've got to hope for Bayern to drop points, and they've got to take care of their own stuff. But look, you're in with a fighting chance at the last game of the year, and I think if you give this to those Dortmund fans at the start of the year, they would have taken this.
Yeah, and that's my thing, is that when you think about it now, Bayern how bad would it be if they lost? How bad would it be if they just dropped the ball on that final day? And they're at home.
Yeah.
So you'd like to think in front of their fans they get the job done, and I would be a bit surprised if they don't get the job done just based off that factor.
But even a draw is enough, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Because I think they're up 2
They're
points.
up 2.
Yeah, so they would get 1 point. Then yeah, it would be fine because of the head-to-head and all that. Yeah, but still, we've seen some bizarre things at that stadium. I know that was more so towards the earlier part of that season.
Yeah.
But over the last few weeks, they've kind of just gotten by, and I don't know where where we said last week where Klopp was able to get his players up. If Kovac is able to do that. Whereas for Dortmund, they, like Lucien said this weekend, it's just about winning against Gladbach, which at some point earlier this season wasn't a really easy game. I don't know if it will be this weekend on the final week, but they just got to win their game and hope that there's a miracle in Munich.
But the difference between if you want to equate Dortmund to Liverpool and Bayern to City is,
I'd never want to do that.
No, in terms of coming in down to the last day, that Bayern do have a chance of slipping up. Whereas if you were really honest with yourself, did we really see City slipping up at Brighton? Probably not. But Bayern have a chance to throw this one away. So I mean, it's gonna come down to this last match day, and it's gonna be an interesting one, and I look forward to watching that this weekend.
Oh yeah,
I'll watch it.
If you don't, if you don't,
it's at 9:30, so I'll have a chance to watch it before we go to Fav's wedding.
If you don't, regardless, I'm not gonna be able to, but I'm gonna watch it. But if they don't, oh man, I mean, if you don't, and
no, I'm watching it.
Okay,
I'm watching. Don't worry.
We'll see about that.
Don't worry.
And then yeah, Dortmund. Like I said, shout out to Pulisic for scoring on his final. Yeah. Shout out to Pulisic. Shout out to him. Giving him they deserve an American trying to get a pop.
Those gunshots right now. Let's move on.
Yeah. I don't see Alfonso doing that.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah,
Move
I don't
on.
see Alfonso doing that. And shout out to Delaney for also being integral in what they were doing, because this was a game that they were set up not to win normally, but they were able to get it done, and that's credit to Lucien. And we'll see what happens in the final week of the Bundesliga season, because I think that it is the better title race, and it'll be interesting to see if we get another slip up like we have been getting all season. And then what? We want to get to the league that you don't watch either.
Sure.
Serie A. Well, yeah. When Juve lose to Roma, I don't care what the circumstances are. Shout out to Roma, man. Shout out to Roma. Still in the hunt.
Yep.
And shout out to my boys Atalanta for getting it done too.
I was waiting for that.
But Roma got it done.
Yes.
And they kind of rode their luck for a bit because they weren't able to really stop that little Ronaldo dropping deep, running at them, which I understand why they weren't able to stop it. And, Florenzi had to get big and get into Ronaldo's face and then score a great goal that kind of highlighted one of many not so great moments from your man, Chiellini, this season.
Nope.
But that was a pretty bad moment.
Yep.
And then they pounced at the end and Dzeko scored.
Yes.
And yeah, I don't think it was the greatest performance by Roma, but it was a much needed result for them.
That's all that matters for them right
now. And we kind of saw the good and bad of them. And it also helps that Juve doesn't really have anything to play for.
No.
But we did see the good and bad of Roma. And I don't really want them in my top four, to be honest. But the way the other teams are playing, we may have to
listen. It's a very tight race for those Champions League spot. Inter at 66, your boys Atalanta 65, AC Milan at 62, Roma at 62, and I'm gonna put Torino in there too at 60.
Torino's not finishing in the top four.
No, I mean those are the places.
I know. I'm well aware.
Yeah, I still think they have a chance to get into Europe.
Get into the Champions League. I'm talking about.
We're talking Champions League. I thought we were just talking about the European spots.
No,
in general.
No.
Oh, in the top, the top.
We didn't talk about Wolves. Yeah. We didn't really talk about them.
Oh, you were happy for them.
We didn't talk about Germany's European spots.
Who cares about Germany?
So why are we talking about Torino?
Because this is my league.
Yeah, you don't watch it.
Because it's not important anymore.
Oh no, man! No, we're killing you, Dad.
So you've got Inter at 66, Atalanta at 65, and AC and Roma both at 62. Who's your top? Who's your bottom? Who's your?
I don't know. I don't trust any of them.
Okay,
I don't trust any of them.
What about your boys?
I watched all. You trust them, but you don't because they're typically or historically not even that they've really been in this situation often in the past decade.
This is the young Ajax of Italy.
Anyhow, they're not losers, so don't ever say that.
Who's not losers?
Atalanta.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, don't ever put them in the category in the same conversation as those losers.
Okay.
I don't trust any of them.
Yeah,
I don't trust any single one of them. I watched all of them play this weekend. All have their flaws. Milan just got by Fiorentina, and boy, if Kevin Morales and Chiesa could shoot away from Donnarumma.
Yeah.
And I know that's very simplistic to say, but that literally was the case this weekend. Then perhaps Milan wouldn't have got all 3 points. I guess it was a clutch finish from Çalhanoğlu, and really they just don't. Both of the Milan sides don't create chances, and it's just terrible to watch. I don't know how it could be any one of their fans and put up with that on a week-to-week basis for 38 weeks. It is bad. It's boring. It's dull. They both lack any ounce of creativity. I go with Milan, and all they got is Suso constantly cutting on his left and delivering the same stupid cross and hoping that someone gets onto it or shooting wild. And Piatek, like I said, the drip is over. Same with Paqueta, who didn't feature this week.
Nope.
And they got Barini, and it's just, no. It's bad. It's really bad. And they were fortunate to get it was a big win for them, big win. But they were susceptible to a lot of direct threats from Morales and Chiesa, and they were lucky to get out of it. And at the end of the day, they will be hoping that is enough to help them get to where they need to be. And then I get to Inter, who could barely finish off Chievo, who's already been relegated.
Yep.
And it took a red card from Rigoni for them to really get going. Icardi was on, didn't really create any chances for him. Nainggolan as a number 10, to me, is still a failed experiment. And the similarities actually in the way that they play is that Suso cuts in from the right, Politano cuts in from the right.
Yep.
And they're the two guys that kind of really do stuff. And if it's not Vecino breaking into the box and Perisic wasting 5 or 6 chances that he got today and then finally scored.
Mhm.
It's like, look, they all. If I had a choice, I'd fire them all now. But I said this repeatedly. I don't want to see Ranieri at Roma next season.
He's not. He's leaving.
Good.
Yeah.
I don't. And I heard the Conte to Inter rumor.
Yeah. Yes.
But I don't want to see Spalletti at Inter.
Okay.
And I'm very happy that we won't.
Okay.
And I don't want to see Gattuso at Milan.
And we've said all three of them.
And I just want a nice rebuild from all of them. And we may not even see Max at Juve.
Yep.
Juve think they're gonna get a little botch or think that whatever. Kill them later.
Okay.
Kill them later.
So.
But I don't want to see. I don't want to see any of them. I don't want to see none because the 3 I wasted. What's 90 times 3? 270 minutes.
Yep.
To watch that.
Yep. So I saved myself 270 minutes.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, I did.
Because this is where you're supposed to come back and say what you got to say.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, next week when those games matter.
They matter. No, don't hit me with that. They matter this week.
No, I didn't feel like they did.
They definitely matter this week.
No.
Every game matters until until someone is not officially out. You can't go to the last week and be like, oh well, it matters this week, because then you've lost all context of what's happened over the past 5 weeks, which does matter.
All right, that's fair.
Fair?
Fair.
I know it's fair. That's why I put myself through those 270 minutes.
Well, I did it for the both of us.
Yeah, unfortunately. But that is where I stand with all of them. And Atalanta was the only thing that gave me pride and joy this week.
There you go.
And then I don't bother watching Torino, man.
No, don't worry.
Because I know they're not.
Hey, by the way, there was a fantastic bicycle kick by Belotti.
Yes, I saw it.
I watched it.
That was the one thing that I did see from them this weekend. But besides that,
and Zaza scored.
Yes, because that's not newsworthy to me. I don't care.
Oh, I'm just saying. I watched the game.
That's the one game that you watch.
Yeah.
No comment. No comment. Nothing happened in France that matters.
No.
I gotta see if there's anything else here that matters before we get to TFC, because none of us watched the CPL that was televised. Maybe TSN should go pick that up. No.
Pick up first fry.
No, I don't think they do.
Yeah, you're right.
I don't think they really do. So if there's something to pick up, maybe push that. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention the only thing I had written down was that Thiago got hurt, and that could really affect Bayern going into the final day. But yeah, let's get to the main event, man. Let's get to the main event.
Oh no.
It was a dreary I saw the seat there and it was a Friday night, so Posse wasn't in the mood. But he had a nice haircut. Fresh. He used to fire his barber. Josie came back. What are you gonna say about these bums?
And Simon goes down.
You,
Listen, Philadelphia are a bunch of play acting.
Oh my god,
idiots.
Yeah. Oh my god. Why don't hit me with the fan response?
No, I'm just saying.
They're great. I love them.
Yeah, do you?
Yeah. Who?
Because you hate TFC.
What's the forward's name? What's the forward's name? Prizablico, whatever.
Yeah, I don't know. He gave the 2-1 on the sidelines to some fans, by the way.
Yeah, good for him. He's a boss, and he played extremely well. Him and Pico, and Fabian to a degree.
No, Fabian, I didn't think had a great game.
Well,
and by the way, that guy's got to lose some weight. But other than that, I didn't think he was very good. The other two I thought were very good, holding up the ball and everything.
Yeah. Well,
yeah. But I thought Fabian was poor, actually, to be honest.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Because I've seen him play much better.
Okay, doesn't mean that he's poor.
No, he's poor that day.
Okay.
I thought he was poor. The other two I thought were quite good.
No, not quite. They were good.
Yeah, they were good.
They were good.
I didn't think TFC generated very much. I thought they controlled the majority of that first half, to be honest.
Who did?
TFC.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
They didn't create shit.
They didn't create anything, but they dominated possession. I didn't say they created very much.
I know, but that kind of works into what Philly were doing. Anyway.
Yeah. They lose Simon, which might be a blessing in disguise, but
I don't think so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Let's see. The problem is with this team is that they're, and I've said it before, they're not the finished product. But
You tell me that every single week.
yeah, I do, and I'm gonna keep repeating it. They're not the finished product, but I think there's a certain amount of time that you can play that narrative. You, I think it was a mistake not getting anybody to come in now because they're desperately in need of wingers on this team, and probably another goal scorer, depending on how many goals Josie expects to score.
Probably they need one.
Yeah, they're not gonna. Pozuelo's not gonna score you all these goals that they're thinking he's going to score. Granted, he had a nice free kick, but they didn't generate anything in terms of attacking threat with Hamilton up front. Boyd, that Boyd experiment is all but over, and
Why is it over?
he's not the guy. If he's not playing in games like today or Saturday or coming off the bench or do something, um, that's not your guy. Um, Arrow goes down hurt as well, um, which I don't want to blame him for this for the second goal, but he goes down with a back spasm or whatever it was. Man, just go down, blow that, have the referee blow that whistle because the goal was scored from that side where he would have been covering. So, and I'm not blaming him for the goal, but listen, if you can't walk and he couldn't, just go down, go down. Um, There's not much more to say other than that, to be honest. It was a flat performance at home, more drop points at home. All the good things that they did at the start of the year, they're pretty much unraveling it now. They have a big game against DC on Wednesday night, and that's DC team put on a fantastic performance at home against Kansas City. So I don't see them picking up 3 points at home on Tuesday night if they're going to play that way. Um, yeah, that's it. That's it.
Look, man, they stink. Look, look, finished product. No, we could keep harping that they're not the finished product. This is what they are right now. This is what they are right now. And if they drop as many points as they're going to drop before they get to the finished product, then what's the point? Mm-hmm. What's the point? They got problems. They're imbalanced. Their defense isn't that great. Here they didn't create any chances, so they could create all that they wanted. Michael Bradley wasn't very good again.
Yep.
And the back three wasn't very good. And look, it just comes to a point. And I'm gonna stress this week too, especially after the DC game, because I don't expect them to get any points from that DC game. If they're able to squeak out a little draw, that's fine. If they're able to win, wow, I'll be very surprised. But they're imbalanced, and they don't have a reliable goal scorer. And Posse, you're right, he's not gonna do exactly what everyone thinks he's gonna do, because that's not his game. And I think that would be a huge ask. And eventually, at some point, even if he was doing it now, midway through the season, I would expect him to burn out.
Yep.
Jonathan's not going to score you goals. Marky's not. He's not going to score you goals. Period. Marky's not going to score you any goals.
Nope.
Bradley, I don't even care if he emails me. I really don't care. Michael really gotta sit back and decide what you like. You can't. And I didn't think Fabian was great, and I won't even go to say that he was very good. But Michael made it easy for him to just kind of be there. That's my point.
Yeah.
Is that Michael made it very easy for him to be there and have some sort of effect. They're just not very good, man.
Yeah, I didn't sugarcoat shit.
There's not. And but they're not good in various areas.
Yep. But I even in my assessment, I didn't say that they were fantastic here or there or anywhere. I told you,
I know.
they don't have a winger and they don't have a reliable goal scorer if and when Josie goes down, and they're in need of some strength in the back line.
Okay. And then I feel like that's going to be the recurring theme of every single game going forward, because they play a certain way that even if they don't even if they do lose, they lose in a way where it kind of seems respectable, but it's the same issues that are there and they're right there glaring in your face.
But and we've said this on this before, and I've said it the same thing. I don't doesn't matter whether they lose 1-0, 6-0, 2-1 in an injury time goal. I don't care. The fact of the matter is that you're not picking up points. Other teams are picking up points, and you're falling further and further. In theory, you'd be falling further and further behind. So there are plenty of issues on this TFC team, and they need to fix that sooner rather than later, because if they don't, by the time they come around and have the ability to fix it, it might be too late.
And that's assuming that they do fix it.
Oh,
I'm not believing your little sources, by the way.
that's fine.
I don't care what they say. I don't care what they say. They say it a lot, but they're keeping under wraps.
I have no idea.
Yeah. When are they allowed to sign? They have to wait till July.
Yes, I believe so.
They have to wait till July.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll be here on July 1st.
So will I.
And for the entire month of July. And every time we pod, I'm going to ask you, where's the new signing?
Okay.
That's going to be the name of every podcast going forward. Where's the new TFC signing?
That's fine.
Who is he?
I don't know yet.
And boy, the expectations are going to be really high.
Well, how do you know it's not you?
It's definitely not. So I just
Left back.
I just want to know. No.
Right back.
No, I don't want to play for them. I'm good where I'm at. I'm fine.
All right.
I'm fine. Definitely don't want to put any cleats there.
All right.
Sorry, BMO Field. Not gonna do that to me. I'm not going out there to get smoked by Gaddis and who else will play on the other side. I don't care. But it is what it is, man. I just want to make sure that you know where they're at.
Oh, I know where they're at.
And I'm gonna remind you every single week
I know you all.
because they're getting no pass.
I'm not asking for one.
No pass. But that this week just goes to show how far off they are. That's a good road performance. You know, they just got beat by a nice free kick. It was a nice free kick.
Yeah.
We didn't do shit after that.
Nope.
It didn't influence the game at all.
Nope.
So that's a big indictment on him too. So I want to know, and it comes to a point where Greg has to find a way now. He has to find a way. Right? He has to find a way.
Sure.
He has to find a way to get someone going or put players in positions where that they can score goals. But how is he going to do that? Right?
Yeah, I don't think he has the players to, so he's gonna have to figure it out for the next 3 months.
Yeah.
2 and a bit.
Yeah. Don't they go on break for like the Gold Cup or something?
They may, yeah.
Okay.
So that would
You should know this.
That will give him a little bit of chance.
Okay, TFC Insider. How's TFC Live feeling about it?
I have no idea.
Okay. What do you know, Dan?
Nothing this week.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Whatever. We're gonna get you off on that note just because. But because you've had a rough week, and when TFC lose on Wednesday, do they play on Saturday too?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay, we don't need to check.
They play Wednesday for sure.
I know they play Wednesday
against Wayne.
Yeah, I know. Wayne gonna smoke them.
Oh, I know.
Oh my goodness. Lucky that Eastern Conference is terrible.
Yeah,
terrible.
Well, I just realized that your boys play tonight.
Okay, I don't really care. I don't really care.
What do you mean you don't care?
I don't care. I don't care.
Oh,
we're focused on TFC right now.
Well, I'm trying to change the subject.
Yeah, get better. Anyhow, you're done. I don't care when they play. You got anything else to say?
No.
You should probably charge this MacBook, by the way.
It's yours.
Since you got nothing to say. Well, let's plug it. You knocked it out.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
By the way, they do play at RSL.
With that being said, you ain't got nothing else to say?
I've got nothing else to say.
Okay. Well, it's been a great podcast, Dan. It's always lovely podding with you after you've exerted all your energy on these 416 streets that you have nothing to provide to the podcast after we're an hour in. Oh, man.
Sorry.
As long as you had fun.
My energy levels are...
Yeah, and TFC lost. And then you try to hit me with some Kawhi garbage. And then, yeah. It's good. We had a good pod.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. That being said, yeah, you really got to plug this MacBook in so these people could listen to the rest of
Okay,
the
hold on.
podcast. Anyhow, this was the InnerViews Podcast, episode 76. It's your guy, Tyrrell. We try to break down everything that happened this weekend, and we hope that you enjoyed it. And if you didn't, well, come back next week. We'll be much better. And Dan will watch more games, but you could find us on iTunes, Spreaker, iHeartRadio, Spotify, and any Android apps on your Android devices. We upload videos every day on youtube.com/theinnerviews. You could check us out there, or you can find us on Facebook, facebook.com/theinnerviews. Like and follow and like. I also answer questions on Quora, and you can find me on Instagram and Twitter. Twitter, we haven't really been on in a bit because there haven't been that many games, but as next weekend flows, I'll retweet whatever Dan decides to tweet, and I'll be getting into my tweet bag, and you could retweet or tell me why I'm wrong or tell me why I'm right, and we'll get there. And I upload swaggy pictures of myself on Instagram that you could like or just scroll by. It doesn't really matter to me. But with that, I think we've covered everything. I think everything is good. I think we've plugged everything that needs to be plugged. And we'll be back next Monday to break down the final week of the Bundesliga with Serie A. Like we said, La Liga is pretty much dead. And we'll get into some MLS action. And perhaps, just perhaps, we'll watch the CPL for the first time this weekend and give you some analysis. But if we don't, then, like I said, Monday, you know the routine. You know what we're going to be into. You know the vibes. And you know that Danny C will be out on the streets, and he'll provide us with more stories. So with that being said, it's your guy, Tyrrell.
It's your boy, Dan.
And we are out.